Hello. All right. We are going to do character creation using Tarokka Deck. So I am going to be choosing cards out of this deck to make a character using rules that I have created, and I have them over here. Um, I did get help from the AI, the robot. I did talk to the robot about this a lot. As you could see, it was a long chat. I used some of its suggestions. I used it mostly to help organize my thoughts and like be blank space fillers. I actually went through afterwards and changed out the items on the tables and all that other stuff. So, um, if you're interested, check out my Discord and maybe I will do an AI conversation like what I got out of the AI, put into the AI, and what I wound up with as a final product. I think that's interesting, but you may not. So, oh, see my legs here. Whatever. Uh, so what I'm gonna do is let you know what I am making. I created a way to make characters using Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the basic rules, player's handbook, and Van Richten's guide to everything. So basically, you get all types of backgrounds, races, options for creating characters. It's like a lot of the best rules. The magic items from Van Richten's. You get you get gifts from Van Richten's. If you pull the glyph set, you get magical items. I've made it. I've done this, and I've made characters that were a little OP, right? So to start off, some of them don't say they need attunement, or if an item does need attunement, it should be a secret and it should be like part of the campaign to figure out how to attune to that item, right? So just because you can get as a fighter pretty easily a sword that does the booming blade cantrip, the green flame blade cantrip, and fires Eldritch Blast when the character's at full health, and is a +1 sword. I think it should scale as well, but I didn't write that in the rules yet. Um, that is too powerful for even a level 3 uh, character, I think, right? So it should definitely be an attunement type quest that goes along with all this stuff. So these are the rules that I wrote. Actually, this is the robot that I talked to. And again, I can show that. But these are the final rules, right? So I have the table for the Tarokka High deck has the card it's associated with. This is going to decide the race. And then if you can have an affliction or a gift associated with each card, and later in play, each card is associated with an action. 4 of the cards allow you to use the cards that came out dead. No, 3 of the cards allow you to revive cards, and 4 of the cards allow you to carry the attributes of a live card down into different parts of the spread. Right. This happens in 2 parts. It happens in a birth round, and when you do the birth round, you are going to choose the player's race, class, and one of these gifts that is on the Tarokka deck table. You are going to then choose the player's attributes. So you're going to have 6 cards that get drawn for player's attributes, and that's a specific deck. And then you're going to reshuffle all the cards that weren't used in those 2 spreads. So there's 3, maybe 4 up top, depending on how it comes out and how you decide to play. and 6 to, I don't know, 6 to maybe 9 cards in the attribute spread. So once you're done creating your attributes, your race, your class, and your gift or affliction, your fate, then you move on to the life um, round. And that's where you decide your background attributes. So the roll tables that go along with the backgrounds are going to be chosen by cards. I'll explain how. And your inventory, right? And the inventory, basically you're going to choose items in your standard loadout, like your armor or a shield or something like that. 2 weapons, a primary and a secondary weapon. I don't have any instruments for bards on this table. I did think of it, but I just can't find places to put it. But I'm not that concerned with that, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The other thing, I guess I should be checking to make sure this is actually going out there. Hold on, let me do that. And let me finish explaining. Right, so because I recorded and I could just put it up. So the so you have a magic item that you're going to wind up pulling. You have magic weapons that you're almost definitely going to wind up pulling. There's chances to do enhancements to weapons, enhancements to items, cloaks. And then using the gifts table, there is another dark gift that you get. So there's the gift that comes from. So basically, the idea is that, like, if you're playing this with a group, each set of gifts or afflictions would help you understand what the campaign was. So the idea is that you're going to play this in a custom Van Richten rules, creating a domain of dread, right? So these characters are going to go into a domain of dread, and you're going to do that in a session 0. So that's why I'm creating this. And you use those gifts and those backgrounds. I'm going to steal some rules from Good Society and throw that in there with relationships. I think those are cool. And yeah, so you'll have 5 cards. One will be your background spread, and one will be your inventory spread. You'll have 5 in each, so you'll have 10 cards in 2 spreads. So that's 5 cards in your. I'll explain. I'll say that again in a way that makes sense. You'll have 5 cards in your background spread and 5 cards in your inventory spread. And this will make sense. You'll see. I'll do one at a time. I'll do each spread at a time because it's all I have room for anyway. And you can fill those when you're in that round. You can place cards anywhere you want, with some exceptions, and I'll explain those as we go along. And then once you have filled all your spots, so you place 10 cards during at least 10 cards during your life round, and at least 9 cards during your birth round, right? And that represents everything leading up to your coming to Barovia, right? You could definitely use this system for a high level play, right? So if you were going to play like a level 8 to 12, like tier 3 campaign, or 8, or like 10 to 15, somewhere around there, you could definitely just have them really optimize the shit out of their characters. And that's really why I love optimizing characters, and this is like a game for optimizing, right? So it's a mini game that is character creation. So I have my rules. I have the tables for the common deck. I have the rules for the game. I have them pretty well in my head, so I'm not going to refer to this a lot. I know how to shuffle a deck and draw cards. He has basic instructions. I don't need that. Round 1 birth. So I'll refer to this it needs to be rewritten. This is like beta testing for me. Not it's not like it is. I'm beta testing this. So I'm gonna play it with more people. I played it I made one character myself, and I made 3 characters with my wife. Uh, that's how I know the characters come out OP. But it definitely lets you get in a mindset of like, oh, I'm trying to like optimize because uh it's like a game, right? So like naturally when you're playing a game, you're trying to have an optimal outcome in a game. So it's a way of like pushing optimization on players who maybe don't think about optimization a lot. If you want to have a real tough group of players that as a game master at the story plays out, it's D&D. You can just bump up the deadliness, right? So if your characters are OP and you have a bunch of optimizers at the table, um, everything's got something in there to negate it. You just got to do your homework and read the rules and think tactically. And that being said, we will start going. So to start, hold on, let's do this. So to start, you need to take certain cards out of the deck, and those cards are in the common deck and the high deck, right? So we take a bunch of common deck cards out and all the high deck cards. So I'm just gonna go through and get the high deck cards, and the ones I know for sure are the ones I know for sure are attribute decks. So most of the 4s are Horseman, Ghost, Soldier definitely is. Or Soldier a background. No, Soldier's a background. I keep doing that. Chanter, Trader, Philanthropist, Abjurer. Can you see this stuff? Good. This hat is fucking dope, by the way. Guy in town makes custom clothing out of old like vintage high-end items, and he also gets his own stuff made. So I'm not sure where the fabric from this hat came from, but I got oh fucking jeez Louise, Shonuff, the Shogun of Harlem. Jeez, my brain. All right, Evoker, Dictator, Raven. Raven's a cool card. Executioner. Artifact. Seer. Beast. Rogue. Very good card. Druid is definitely a class. So anything that says the name of the class is a class. The Wizard is also a very good card. So any of these star cards are very good cards. Healer is definitely there. Warrior is definitely there. Paladin. Oh, I think these may have got put back together. Broken One. Shepherd. Merchant. Illusionist. Okay. So there are some cards I'm going to have to get out. So you should have 14 cards that are in your high deck. So if I count them, it'll be fine. And hopefully 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Boom. Okay. So we got all our high deck cards right there. I'm going to put them sideways. And then 13 of these, I don't think I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 2 cards I'm missing. So I refer to my common deck with the background cards are over here. I have my 7, there's only one of those. I got a 4, a 4, a 1, a 2, a master, 3, another master, a 5, another master, and another master. So I need 2 4s. I need 2 4s. 2 4s. There's 4 4s, right? There's a 1 1 1 2. I got a 1 and a 2. Another 2. The 2 of glyphs I'm missing. And 1 4. So 2 of glyphs, missionary. Boom, right there. And the 4 of coins is the sailor. The 4 of coins. Four of stars. So there's 3 4s. What is happening? I have the 4 of coins. Oh, I'm looking at background cards. Attribute deck. That's what I need to be looking at. 1 2 3 4 4 4. So I got 1 2. Take this 2 out of here. 3 4 4. So I have the 4 of coins, 4 of glyphs, and I need the 4 of stars. I saw that. Where is it? It was one of the earlier on. Nope. 4 of swords is not one of them. Come on. There we go. 4 of stars. Abjure. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And that is 12. I'm still missing 1. The 6, 5, 7. I don't have a 6. The 6 of swords, the berserker. Where's my berserker? Boom, berserker. All right. So that's the spread. So you could see if you do 8 plus a number on this spread. So now we take the rest of the cards and we set them off to the side, right? So we're not going to use those at all during the birth round. Everything that you see here, the high deck and this spread, are what you play with, right? So I just go ahead and I usually stack these kind of like in order, in like order of like being better. And then I do like a quick rough shuffle as the GM, right? And then I pass it to the player, right? So the way I do this is that this is the attribute deck, and I'm going to put that off to the side over here. Still see it, but it's off. And we're going to take the high deck. That was shuffled. I never put those in any order, and you're just going to go like this. And I like the idea that you're kind of being ritualistic about it, right? So I like the idea that you are going to shuffle like this, right? And it helps to have a much bigger space than you see that I have. But I like the idea that you shuffle like this. And I like the idea that for this, you're going to pick 2 cards. And I like when it's ritualistic and you could do card draws that when it's like this, you take a finger, you pull a card out, right? So I'm going to pull some cards back. I like this one because it's at the bottom, and I like this one because it's on the top, right? Oh, that one wants to go out. So we're going to let that one go out, right? And we're going to place them like this, right? Next to each other. We're going to take this, we're going to stack it, right? However it falls, it falls. We may need another one of these. And we set that off, right? And then we go ahead and do the same thing with this. All right, so I'm going to push these back. You know they're there. You can see them. And then I'm going to do a shuffle with these. So I did a rough shuffle as a GM, and you have the player shuffle their cards, right? And then you have them draw one of these, right? So you got my cards all over the place, right? I don't know what card is which. There's no way for me to really have a sense of what's where, right? You let the player do this whole thing, and then you say pick one of these cards, right? And you take one of these cards and you put it out. That guy is the one I chose because he was kind of hiding. I like to pick the cards that are hidden in the back, and I take this and I do 6 more out of this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You still need these, but these are no longer your fate, your hand, your birth, right? This is not part of your birth round. These cards here, you put off to the side. They're not the class, which is the middle one over here that we chose from the attributes deck, and they're not one of the 6 attributes. So take the 6 cards, stack them, and then we're going to go ahead and look at these cards here, right? So again, just to like add to the spookiness and like the woo factor, right? I don't believe in that stuff, but it is like a psychological fun thing to do as a game. I like to use the same type of motions over and over again. So I would ask the players to flip the card in a cardinal direction, and we're going to decide what they are, right? So I'm going to flip them like that. And that is the Horseman. So I have to go to the high deck, and the race here, these are in alphabetical order. The Horseman is a half orc. So my character's race is a half orc. The next thing we're going to pick is either one of these two. It really doesn't matter which order they come out in. You can have the race count as gender, sex, or pronouns. However you want it, just have the choice be a binary choice, so that it like not like a binary choice, like a binary gender, but like if you were going to be trans, say trans man, trans woman, and if it came out upside down, facing the player or not facing the player, chooses whether or not you have a certain gender, pronoun, or sex, right? Whatever you choose. So to play with. So I'm not going to play with those rules, and I didn't put those rules in, but I thought it, if somebody likes that, they could do it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and flip my my class, and this does matter whether it's dead or alive. What I usually do is just have it face you, right? But this does matter if it's dead or alive. So we flip it like that, and it is alive. And what that means is when a card is alive, you can use it somewhere further down the spread, or if it's happening in the life round, across inside of its own. You never go up, right? But during life round, you could go in, and you could go down over here, right? And you'll see it'll make sense in a minute, right? And then finally, the reason I still had my high deck, was in case you got an origin and you choose to pick a origin race. So you could draw another card, and until you got a race and not an origin. So this is a reborn, right? Or if you want to have what the hell? Oh, if you want to have a new origin from Van Richten's, you can continue to pull that out. So that's the reason we need that, but I'm going to settle with what I have. Which means that I don't need the high deck anymore in this part of the in the life round, right? So I'm going to put that with the rest of the cards that I had, and I'm going to start drawing. And I got to pick my my affliction or gift, right? So the innocent came out as a gift. So I have an aura. I have an aura or appearance that makes people trust you. You have an aura or appearance that makes people trust you and want to please you. So, what would that mean in a game? Would you give a player a certain number of tokens to or dice per session to say you can add this to charisma rolls, right? Something like that. And I kept it vague because I like that I like things that are system agnostic, and I like things that give me a direction without telling me exactly where to go. Right. So that's how I write my stuff, and that's what we have. I really hope I never checked my audio, but it's usually good. Mic audio. Yeah, of course. Okay. And I don't have my chat open. So, and I never checked my stream. So let's do that real quick. Oh yeah, I'm live. Okay. And then Twitch. Sorry, it takes 2 seconds. Oh yeah. Sorry, it takes 2 seconds. Oh, looks good. Sounds good. Oh, looks good. Cool. All right. And away we go. So, attribute cards. What I'm going to do is push these up. They're all alive. The only one that matters is the shepherd, right? The shepherd is a ranger. I don't have to look that up. I've done this now a few times and I know what it is. So I am a half orc ranger. Sorry, that matters. So what you do is you take a card, you flip it, and you put it down. Now, how this works is when you get a master card in this area, you can put it anywhere you want, but you have to place it down first, right? You have to choose where it's going to be. This is a wild card. You can do a couple of things. You can use this card up here, right, to carry down if it's alive, right? So if it came out facing the camera and not me, right, that means it's dead. But it didn't come out like that. It came out alive. So this is one of my 4s that I can carry down to a 12 somewhere and make sure that I get a nice even +1 to one of my even. Yeah, that's like, so this is how much I care about like building characters, is that like I want high numbers, right? Or like an unbalanced spread like dumps, right? But with this, you could avoid dumps. So, what I think, since I am a ranger, I think I want to concentrate on spells for sure. So I want a little bit of boost to that. But what is a ranger's saves? Ranger saves are choose a class, races, classes, ranger. I'm going to use the basic rules wherever I can. And what am I looking for? The saving throws. It's down here. Saving throws, strength and dexterity. So, strength and dexterity. Oh man, that's right. They're like massively multi dependent. So, if I had a master card up here and it was live, I can now get a +7, right? Because there's only one +7 in here. That brings you up to 15, right? Yeah, that brings you up to 15. So there's only one way to get a 15 unless you have a MasterCard and a MasterCard. And your camera goes out. So we're going to force it to come back up. Live shoot. There we go. Let me close this. Okay. another thing you can do is what I'm going to do is carry that down to my strength. All right. So I flip my card. It's now dead. I put it back where I got it. And I have the 4 that gets carried down to the priest, right? And then I keep going. And maybe if I get another master card. So the other thing is, if this was dead, and I would pick from here, from this other deck, the one that were the cards that I didn't draw of the 6, right? And the reason is, these 6 cards are the thing that go into one of these attributes. So when this deck is out, you're full, right? If you need extra cards, you take them from here. You don't take from here to put into here, and you don't take from the attributes deck you don't take from the discard to put into the attributes deck, and you don't take from the attributes deck to modify a card. Right? You use the discard to modify cards, right? Unless you have a live card to use. So this is still in play, and you'll see why if I pull another master card. So we're going to go here, and we were flipping this way. The Illusionist, that's 7, right? And Rangers, spellcasting is Wisdom, but if I'm going to do a ranged Ranger, you know what? I think I'm gonna do 2-weapon fighting. I've been big on 2-weapon fighting, so I'm gonna do this in my wisdom. Is that stupid? Are you gonna play Rangers? That might be done. We'll see. But it's done. Wisdom. Berserk. Wow, buddy boy. Dexterity. Yeah. And then we get a 3 to intelligence. Like this. And a 1 to charisma. And finally, my constitution. Hopefully it's good. It's a 4. So, not bad. All right. And we have the cards that are alive and dead. We got to decide what we can use. We cannot use the priest going forward. We can use the berserker, which is great. I think that's a good weapon, if I remember correctly. You'll see later that each suit is connected to a certain type of inventory item. The 4 of coins, I think, is a good one. The merchant, I don't really remember what it is. The healer's dead. The illusionist is alive. Yes, 7 of stars. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a dope item. Maybe not for a ranger, but it's going to be a dope item. And finally, the monk is dead. All right. So we have 12 for strength, 14 for dexterity, 12 for constitution, 11 for intelligence, 15 for wisdom, and 9 for the other thing. So, charisma. So I'm not worried about charisma. So what would have happened if I would have drew another one of the master cards? Then that would have required me to pull from this deck. So this discard deck. So I didn't ever have to pull from this discard deck because I only had the 1 master card come out and I was able to use my shepherd. But if I had another master card come out, I would have pulled from this deck and I would have either been a 0, right? So that would have been a dump stat, right? At that point, because you have, when you draw 2 master cards in a row, you get a dump stat, right? So there's 2 chances for a dump stat, 2 possibilities, because there's only 4 of these cards. So there's 2 possibilities for you to get a dump stat. And it doesn't usually happen. And then the spread is like, it's a little high, but it's not crazy high, right? And it's a little high because you are able to maneuver things like this, right? So that was the life, the birth round. And in that, we found out that we are a half orc ranger who has an aura or look that makes people friendly to them. And we're going to say that that comes with a since it's a ranger. We'll see. We'll look at the ranger. Here, hold on. What are the ranger features? Favorite enemy, natural explorer. We are going to use Tasha's ranger stuff. Ranger. We are definitely using optional class features on this because they are better. Skill proficiencies. So yeah, we'll give expertise in charisma, not all charisma, in 2 charisma skills. Right? To do that so that it will offset this one. Right? So this helps offset this. So we'll say W proficiency, expertise in 2 charisma skills. That's what we'll do for that. That's what this innocent translates to at my table when I play, right? Based on what my rule said was you have an aura or appearance that makes people trust you and want to please you, right? Great. So, expertise, charisma checks. And that's that. I'm not going to go through the whole process of making the character. I am going to use this to look at the background table, right? But I'm not going to go through every specific. I'm not going to show every little thing about a weapon that I find, or go and pick like a subclass or any features. Or I'm not even going to do the plus ones. We're just going to leave it at this, right? So I'm not going to look at, like, I'm pretty sure rangers get half orcs get +1 to strength, and if I pick a sub race, it'll be something else, right? So I'm not going to do any of that stuff. You know how to do that stuff. I don't need to explain it. I'm just going to go over the rules of the game, right? So with that, we know half orc ranger, expertise in 2 charisma skills. We have a 12, a 14, a 12, 11, 15, and 9. Those are our ability scores. Pew, pew, pew. I don't think it's that important. So, with that, we take the rest of these cards with the rest of the other cards, and we put them together, and we shuffle this up. And as a GM, I take it and I do like a rough shuffle, right? Yeah. Don't drop. I've used these cards a lot, actually. So, for gaming, it's fun when you're playing Curse of Strahd or in the or Barovian campaign. It's fun to, like, use this as a prompt because there's the book that comes with the Tarokka deck. I wonder if you could get a Tarokka deck. Let me see. I wonder if they make it available. It is in the Curse of Strahd and Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, Appendix E to the Curse of Strahd, and Tarokka Deck and Spirit Board in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So you need Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft to do this. And does it tell you all the cards? Lane curses. No, it doesn't tell you all the cards. Spirit Board. Is there a link? Curse of Strahd. It makes you go to Curse of Strahd. So I have, you can see behind me where I got my Tarokka deck. I have the special edition Curse of Strahd thing. Oh, see my masking tape. Um, so I guess you kind of need Curse of Strahd or to buy the Tarokka deck, right? And I don't even know if I have Curse of Strahd in here. I think I might have it in. No, right? I mean, I own Curse of Strahd, and I own Curse of Strahd, but I don't have a digital copy of Curse of Strahd. That's funny. Um, you could look up this stuff. It's not that hard to find out. But I'm not going to show you how to do that because I'm pretty sure that's not legal or ethical. So, done with these cards, except that I never wrote anything down. But I'm going to leave them out because these do not get shuffled back in, right? So I'm going to push them out of the way, and I'm going to bring the rest of my deck out, right? I did my rough shuffle. Now I'm going to have the player do a real shuffle, and I am definitely going to need more space for this. So let me get my keyboard out of the way, get my drink out of the way. Turn things a little large. Put it right here. Oh. Get my trap ball out of the way and do a shuffle. Now, there. Again, you want a big space for this, especially if you're doing these rules, but I think that's going to be okay. I do not advocate shuffling these like a regular deck of cards. I do it with my board games, my legendary decks. I shuffle the shit out of my legendary decks. And basically it's because when you have playing cards, I've had decks of playing cards that I play a lot, and they last for like a decade. And I don't play legendary that often, especially not with the specific decks. So I try to break it up. So I don't mind shuffling those cards, and they're tops. They're very high quality. Not tops. Upper deck. They're very high quality cards. These cards are very nice, but when it comes to like, they're not super high quality, right? The embossing and the art is fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying this deck, but I'm saying you wouldn't want to like bridge these cards. I would. Anyway. So here's the deal. We are in the life round. And there are cards that are a specific table that is connected to a background, right? So for every background, I picked a card. There were a bunch in these 3 books, or 4 books, and they are attribute deck. We don't need you anymore. Life round background cards, right? So the one, most of them are pretty well coded one thing to the other, right? So the swashbuckler is a pirate, the monk is a sage, philanthropist is a folk hero, missionary, outlander, paladin, knight, soldier, stuff like that, right? So the first time one of those comes out, you start building your background deck. So you can't start building your background deck until you pick a background card. And then once you pick a background card, you could start putting cards under that background card, right? So from your perspective, it's going to be a upside down pentagram. From my perspective, the way I'm going to build it out is that I'm going to put my background card over here when I pull it. There's a lot of them, so you got a good chance of pulling it out soon. Almost every time it came out real early. The only time it didn't is when I was playing, and it came out late, right? So not late, but like It took like not seven. It took like 4 cards until I got a background card. I was starting to get nervous, right? Because you only have 5 to put down in the other one. So you do have 7 passes and 1 save. And the way I play, you don't have to play this way, but the way I like to do it is just not use my pass, use my save, right? Because you could always pass a save, right? Because you could do whatever you want with a save. And you could use it after a pass type of a thing, stuff like that. So, and that'll make more sense when I start playing. But the high deck is action cards, and I have those in there. So that's when we'll start seeing if I can start bringing attributes from my from my birth down into my life, right? First card. So literally just start drawing from the top and deciding where it goes. The Tempter is an action card. I know what this is because it comes out. It seems to come out all the freaking time and basically forces you to use your save card. But if you don't have a save card, you put it back in your deck and do a rough shuffle. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it back in my deck. And I'm going to do a rough shuffle. And a split. And then I'm going to do that again. The 2 of Swords, the Paladin is not a... Oh, 2 of Swords. It is. So it's a background. So like I said, backgrounds are very likely to come out. There's a bunch of them. It came out first. And my background as a Paladin, the 2 of Swords, is a Knight. Nice! I get all types of cool shit. A Knight is a fun thing background to get. And the reason is you get, that is in the basic rules, and it is a background. Where's the backgrounds? Playing the game, character creation. Where's the backgrounds? Backgrounds. And a silly English knigget is... Oh, it's not in here. Oh, look at that. Where is it? Is it in the player's handbook? Backgrounds. Equipment. Classes. Races. Backgrounds. Top. Knight. No. Huh. Tasha's? Does Tasha's even have backgrounds? I don't think Tasha's has backgrounds. Hold on. Give me a second. No. Where did I get a Knight background from? Lineages, Dark Gifts, background. Hold on. I know it's a background. Oh, it's a variant. That's got to be the AI. It's something I missed with the AI. So like I said, I did use the AI, and I think it's in the basic rules. Okay, so variant noble knight. It's in the basic rules. That's what I thought. I was like, what the frig? Knighthood is among the lowest noble titles in most societies, but can be the path to higher status. If you wish to be a knight, choose the retainers feature instead of the position of privilege feature, right? One of your commoner retainers is replaced by a noble who serves as your squire. I get a squire. I knew it. Path to knighthood. 2 remaining retainers might include a groom to care for your horse or a servant who polishes your armor. Right? So That means we can use the sidekick rules in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, right? We got... Is that in Tasha's or is that in Van Richten's? Travelers, other domains. One of these has sidekicks. Boom. A warrior. Or an expert. So he's a little nerd. Your squire is like a little nerdy guy, right? And I say that with love, right? I love nerds. I'm a nerd. Here I am talking about D&D, coming up with complicated rules for an already complicated game. Do not feel bad when I call people nerds. I count myself among you. It just comes out like that. So, yeah, we'll do like a nerdy little sidekick. Awesome. Cool. Very cool background, right? So that's what I'm talking about with this thing, is that it gives you like a lot of stuff that maybe you wouldn't want to do in the game because like you wouldn't want to be that jerk, right? But we have the rules. We have the books that I chose that go with this, and there we go. So that was the first thing I picked. The miser is the 9 of coins. So I'm going to be looking at this a lot more, and we don't need the background deck anymore. We do need the inventory deck. Cloak of Protection. I am going to use that as my major inventory slot, right? So this was something that either replaces or augments your armor, right? And I would consider this as an augmentation of your armor. So the idea is that, like, you see there's adamantine and mithril armor on here. There is the Cloak of Elvenkind, the Cloak of Protection, and all-purpose tool, silver weapon. Yeah, so there's no... glamored studded leather, right? So there's 2 types of metal armor. So whatever is in your loadout, you would augment it, right? So you'd either replace it with the same type, being like an adamantine. If you had a chain shirt, you'd have an adamantine chain shirt. Or if you had a breastplate, you'd have an adamantine breastplate. But since I'm not replacing the item, I'm just augmenting that item in this slot, that means that this, as the Cloak of Protection, is going to augment my armor, and it goes in there. Boom. All right, so I'm not swapping out my armor. You're not giving up inventory slots. You're just augmenting those inventory slots, right? So this first top slot, and you'll see I'm going to lay these out in a pattern. The first top slot is one of your essential items, like a piece of armor. You see what's on here, right? And that augments an item like that. Wow, I'm pulling good. The trader is a 9 of glyphs. We'll go down to the glyph suit and choose a familiar in the form of a rat, cat, raven, or spider. Yes, please. We are going to put this down, not in my magic item, but in my slot over here. So this is not exactly a gift because you are in the domains of dread, and this is not a familiar that you can get rid of. He always comes back in an hour. You could change his form, or their form, right? It doesn't have to be a him. So you could be a rat, a cat, a raven, or a spider. And you could change their form on a short rest, like I said. But you can't get rid of them. When they die, they come back within an hour. So that gives the GM an opportunity to spy on you, right? Unless you had something that prevents that. The Charlatan. This card's dead. This card's dead. This card's dead. This card's dead. So far, every card I've pulled is dead. The 7 of glyphs. I'm on the glyphs. Is a touch of death. I am going to pass on that dark gift. I do not. No, I'm going to save that. Right. Also, encourage your players not to like go too far with this thing, because, like, as you can see, it can get a little out of hand. The Dictator is the 8 of swords. That is probably going to be a good weapon. Bloodthirster, heavy two-handed. So can I, as a ranger, use heavy two-handed weapons? Basic rules. In the ranger, equipment, weapons. Simple and martial weapons. Yep. Cool. So, what was that? Bloodthirster. Heavy two-handed. A massive great axe that seems to hunger for blood and screams in battle. The axe gains 1d4 damage die for each adversary felled by the axe. It does magic damage when it's charged up to 3d4. Bloodthirster resets 10 minutes after combat has ended, right? So it goes back to 0. You may want to raise that, and you may want to make this a cursed item, right? Just to offset some of the stuff. You start maybe put into play ways that a character is losing his stuff. Is it thematic as a ranger? So am I a lumberjack and I'm okay? Because you could have a ranger. You can still see that, right? This is here. This is here. I'm going to pass this and save this. So now I have one pass. The 5 of glyphs. Might take this. So I'm looking at my thing here, and the 5 of glyphs is a second skin in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. And I would really only let them pick. So since you're picking 2 from the swords and 1, I would really only let people pick 2 from the glyphs. If they were going to pick from the glyphs, I would say only pick 2 from the glyphs. That's not written in there, but I think maybe it should be. So what am I looking for? Van Richten's Guide to Everything. Page, it's the 5 of glyphs. Page 25, second skin. That is a dark gift. Where are the dark gifts? Now you can say, if you want a dark gift, you got to take a dark bargain, right? And then maybe do a class of warlock or do some type of feat that is detrimental, right? Well, who says you can't? You have to take this feat, and this feat is going to connect you to something bad. So, Echoing Soul, we want Living Skin, Living Shadow, Mistwalker, Second Skin, not that. Second Skin. There's another side of me that most people never see. When you show the side of yourself, you might become another person entirely, a celestial-like avenger or walking nightmare. Whatever the specifics of the form, it exaggerates. Roll or choose an option from one of the second form tables. So, like if I said just, we'll say it's 5 because it's 5, right? But you should probably roll to see this, or maybe have the next card that comes out be what you use. But a vaguish human-shaped creature made of slime. So then it means I can cast Alter Self to appear in my second form. Requires no spell slot. You must finish a long rest before you can do that again. When you cast Alter Self using this feature, some cosmetic aspect of your second form remains after the spell ends. This visibly marks you. And then there's catalysts. I like this. I'm going to use this, right? I like this card. I'm going to use this card. I'm going to put it as my second glyph spot. Try to have it be a star in, you can't see where my hand is, so these are my glyph spots, right? Try to have this one be a star, right? So you have 1 of each suit in each thing. Sometimes you have 2 of each suit, right? So then, flipping again, a guild member is the 5 of coins. I really don't want to use that, but I will take it as my coins here. So now the way this works is that you get a bonus. I haven't written this in yet, but I talked about it with my wife after we played. You get a bonus to having one from each suit under here. And the way this is going to lay out is in the form of a pentagram. And the way this is going to lay out, here a second. Hello. Going back up. And the way this is going to lay out is in the form of a pyramid, right? So you get some kind of bonus for using one card from each suit, and we determine our backgrounds using this card by doing it like a spinner. So I think I was in my backgrounds under basic rules. Ranger, no, we're going to open another tab. Open a new tab. And then I'm going to go to backgrounds. I was just here, backgrounds. And we're going to go to the noble. And we're going to look at his. So the coins is connected to the. Hold on. This is the only place I really need to look at these rules. Fate spread, attribute spread, round 2. It's got to be in the player instructions, GM instructions. Nope. Hold on. I see an empty spot. Here they are. So the coins is connected to my flaws. So that means I have to go and pick my flaw. And I got a 5. So that means, in fact, the world does revolve around me. Wow. That's really not like a rangery feat. But I guess if he's like a Prince Humperdinck, could be this type of character, right? So, but not like a complete douche like Prince Humperdinck. Because he is. He's a noble who's primarily a hunter. So, except he's not a knight. But you can imagine Prince Humperdinck being, instead of a prince, being a knight. So, yep, that works. So we're going to keep pulling. 4 of stars. I'm going to take this no matter what it is because I am worried that I'm not going to pull enough stars. And what will happen is I'll pull nothing but stars after this. But I'm going to take it. The 4 of stars is a Pearl of Power. Once a day, I can use the action to speak the Pearl's command word and regain 1 expended spell slot. Rangers have so few spell slots. That's actually a good one. I am going to use that. So I got 2 glyphs. I need my weapons, but I have 1 in my save, right? So just in case, I got my Screaming Axe that I can always use if I'm running out of passes. The 4 of swords is a Ghoul's Cleaver. Carved dagger with a ghastly design, can be used to make precise cuts in the flesh of the undead. I would say that gets +1 against undead, and is considered magical against any undead. So that would be my secondary weapon, right? So again, this is upside down from your perspective. Don't stress too much about that, but just know that I'm laying it out, and I'll flip it around in a minute. The 7 of coins. I am not able to use that. I'm going to pass. Now I've used 2 passes, right? The 8 of glyphs, I'm going to put over here. And that means the glyphs are traits. So I'm going to go and look at my character traits. And there's an 8 of 8. If you do me an injury, I will crush you, ruin your name, and salt your fields. This character is a badass. Jeez Louise. Maybe I should take this axe. All right, let's keep going. The tax collector. I already have my coins out. Done. 3 passes. Seer, first action card. Boom. Oh, buddy. So, damn it. Oh, I got the Berserker. I got the Berserker. Boo, boo, boo. So because I'm pretty sure the Seer is a good card. So give me a second. Hold on. Let me find what it is on my common deck. On here. Seer, place this card in an open inventory slot, and it's not inventory. It's anywhere in the place this card in an open slot in the during the bonus round, right? So I am going to place it in an inventory slot, and I am going to make that almost definitely the Six of Swords. That's the Berserker? The Six of Swords is the Berserker. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so I am going to use this. It's Witch's Dagger. I'm going to have 2 daggers, right? So I'm going to do 2 weapon fighting, and I'm going to try and get a feat for dual wielding, right? So, small curved ornate dagger with a dark enchantment. It is favored by those who practice dark magic. I thought I wrote new rules for that. Oh, so it's light, it's finesse, it's a spell focus, and it returns, and it has throne. Also throne. So literally, this is more like a glaive. It only does 1d4 damage, but it is a short-ranged weapon, right? So not a melee weapon, but a short-range weapon. And that's dope. I'm using that. I'm using the Berserker. Ranger gets extra attack, right? Anyway, moving along. So that means I can use my save now as a swords. I'm going to use my 8 of Swords as my swords card because I already have that. And that means swords are ideals. That's an 8, so it's going to loop back around and go to 2, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Responsibility is my duty to respect the authority of those above me, just as those below me must respect mine. So, damn, this character is like not the type of person I would like to be, but that's cool, right? Because it's a game. You're supposed to do it. The Raven. Boom. So it sucks that I filled this up so fast. But the Raven, I'm pretty sure, comes with good stuff. Place this card in an open inventory slot. So that way I would use it here. I think I may change this to you may place this in an open inventory slot, right? I'm going to place the Raven in here, and I am going to use, what do I need? I have glyphs, I have coins, I have swords, I need stars. All of these came out dead. Wow, that sucks. And then, do I not have a star available up here? Oh, I got my illusionist. Woo! Okay, so I might have got stuck with something without getting a bonus. But I do have my illusionist, so I flipped that to being dead. And I put it in here. And that means I got the 7 in the stars. So I got to check this. And the stars, I'm pretty sure, are going to be bonds now. Ish. And then we will go to the bonds, and it is a 7 because it's coming from the illusionist card. Because I carried the illusionist card down to this Raven spot. And 7. So I will face any challenge to win the approval of my family. This character is a authoritarian family. This guy is kind of all right, right? That's fine, because I would never choose to play that character. And the only reason I have a half orc ranger who is a knight that I'm now thinking of very much as a Prince Humperdinck, right, with like a chip on his shoulder, because he's low rank, with some with some horrible curse affliction, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe my other appearance is of somebody, so maybe I have to, that works with the innocent. Maybe I use my innocent trait when I change to a very handsome, oh no, it's innocent, right? So what I would do is say that I am a small-ish female orc, right? That can change into what looks like a younger woman, right? As her altered form. But there's like an affliction that comes with that altered form, right? You have to balance that stuff. So that means that all this stuff is balanced. We're gonna balance all this stuff against each other when we play, because the way the rules are written out are vague, right? So that alter self ability that came out as a curse, we can use. And then what was the other thing? So I have, let me go look again. Let me double check this. I had 2 glyphs down here. Stars of Magic. Glyphs. I have the 9 and the 5. The 9 is a familiar. Is he a cat guy? Maybe he's a cat guy. He's also a cat guy. Maybe this guy should get a dog. This guy should have a mastiff. He's a ranger. He should have a mastiff. So we're gonna have to. I'm gonna add that because that should be on there anyway. So he gets his familiar, which is a mastiff. He gets. You could see this is like a powerful character, right? And not only that, I would say, so for the birth and the race, another thing you can do is if it comes out alive, you're born outside of Ravenloft. If it comes out dead, you're born inside of Ravenloft. I would say this guy is native to Ravenloft, right? Whatever the campaign we came up with, I would say that this guy is native, and that all of these family ties that are involved are ingrained in the story at this point, right? So this, I love doing it like this. So I don't know what you think. We are done, right? I am done. I have my 2 hunting knives. You could still have a bow, right? This guy still has a longbow. There is an option, I think, for a longbow to come out with the swords. It is a cursed longbow. It whispers malevolent words as you draw it. I would probably make that I should probably rewrite that. That's the AI, right? So I could have swore I went through and picked items that were more appropriate. Hold on. Oh no, I definitely did, but I did it in the glyphs. Right. I need to rework these weapons. Some of them I like. So I like the Witch's Dagger. I like Bloodthirster. I like. I wrote the Master of Swords. It is the Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda. Right. So it becomes a +1 weapon. I think it should scale. Grants the ability to cast either Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade as a bonus action. When the player is at full HP, it also grants the ability to cast Eldritch Blast as an action. That is the best thing in the deck, and I wrote it. It's way OP, but if it was a part of a campaign, and I don't expect people to make characters like this in a one shot. So since it's part of a campaign, like I said, you just make the attunement more extra. So I did post the a previous version of this on my Discord, so you can get a kind of janky version of it on my Discord. I will be going over it and publishing it for free, just putting it out there because I can't charge for this, right? And I can't rewrite anything from Tasha's or you need this stuff. It's only useful to people who are dungeon masters and like horror and have all this horror stuff. So there is that, and I understand that. But if I can get people to play this with me, I am going to be doing a horror campaign. Check on Start Playing Games. I'm going to be coming out with a horror campaign soon, and we'll be using stuff like this to run it, and probably pick another of the books. So here, so we have a star pattern. Give me a second. I'm going to lay these out so you can see them. We got the star pattern, we have the pyramid pattern, and we have the life deck that comes out in a 2 flat rows. And this represents my character, right? I've done this now, like, I've done this this is the 5th time I'm doing this. It's made a cool character every time. So, and as I work on the rules, it's going to be a cooler character. The reason I'm doing all this is twofold. One, I'm going to be running a horror campaign on Start Playing Games, and we're going to do this with all the players in a session 0. And if this works out and people like it, I am going to go ahead and do a tarot deck character creation method. And the tarot deck has 54 cards. Tarot deck has like 70 something cards, and make it more spreads, right? So and a more robust rule set, right? So look forward to that. The way that the horror campaign is going to work is that I'm going to use these books, and then one more campaign setting book. So like it could be in a it could all happen in a break off of Eberron, right? Or it can all happen in a break off of Taldore, right? Because I have those books. I have campaign setting books, so we can have it be a what I'm hoping is to use these 3 books and another campaign setting book to be a guide of like what that feels like, right? So it could be Fae, it could be Eberron, it could be anywhere in the Forgotten Realms, it could be, I have the Waterdeep, it could be all happen in a castle in Waterdeep, like just the main Waterdeep castle, because that is a very large castle. You can have a 4 to 5 session campaign just in that castle, and it'll be fun. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for when I publish these rules, and keep an eye out for more stuff coming out, because Death Mesa is definitely still simmering in my mind. I just wanted to do this. I think what happened is that somebody did a video about tarot because the movie Tarot was coming out, and I didn't know that there was a movie Tarot out, but I did see the video about tarot cards, and now I did this, and I think it's a great little system. I think it's a fun way to make characters, and I didn't know it was connected to a stupid movie that's being promoted right now. But it is what it is. I will talk to you later. I have a game in an hour and a half. I am playing Cyberpunk Red with Malcolm from Start Playing Games at a local game store, Isle Games. So I gotta go get dinner ready and then get ready to play Cyberpunk Red. Later, guys.